Truth is, I must tell you the truth.
Good evening, friends.
Here we are, joined by the Haunted Radio from Space. I'm Captain John, and oh my gosh, what a show we have for you tonight. Holy cow, the Haunted Radio from Space is surrounded by some of the best, most entertaining pals that I have. And first off, let's bring on my co-host every week, always here with us, just as steady as a rock, the chief science fiction officer of Starbase 80. It's Mr. Joe Townsell. Mr. Townsell, thank you for joining me, as always.
Mr. Weber, always a pleasure. And once again, I'm tempted to look behind me to see if you're talking about somebody else more worthy, but I guess you're talking about me, so thank you, sir.
It's all you. It's all you, my friend. We've only done a couple of episodes. Our first episode, we were lucky enough to be joined by our next guest, and we are doubly lucky to have him back, hailing from my old stomping grounds in the Granite State. I shouldn't be giving away your location. I'll just say that much. It's Mr. Craig Lubin. Craig, thanks so much for being with us yet again. And can I unmute you?
Welcome, Craig.
I cannot unmute you.
There
you are.
Yeah, my bad.
Dude, I appreciate how conscientious you are about your controls. I appreciate it so much. Starbase 80 would never have existed had it not been for this next man. He is my hero, my mentor in broadcasting, and anything you don't like, yeah, you can basically blame it on him. Not directly, but somewhat. It is our very good friend, the wonderful, the famous Lobo Boys.
I used to be a content creator, but now I'm all washed up. Oh, God, I'm just a has-been.
Never.
Take me away. What's up? What's going on?
Flobo, we're so glad to have you on the show. We have done 2 so far. Craig, of course, was with us for the first one. I was so glad that you could, find room in your busy schedule to join us on Haunted Radio from Space. Here's the deal, Mr. Boyce, because you're brand new to this one. Here's the deal. I'm going to play you 2 radio shows, old-timey radio shows. Both of these tonight are from the 30s. So we're looking at one of them is exactly 90 years old. One of these shows.
All right.
Crazy how old some of these shows are. And I also want to throw in, and with something being 90 years old, you're going to hear racism, misogyny, othering, xenophobia. There's going to be all kinds of delicious old-timey ill thinking. And feel free to call it out, because what we do here on the show is I'm going to, I try to keep an eye on the monitors with the guests. And anytime you have something to say, feel free. Just show me your hand. Just raise your hand. Or if you can get it out real quick, go ahead and get it out real quick. Either way, Joe, you and I have not had this extensive, sort of producers conversation about the show. But I actually found out that now I believe these shows are in the public domain, but that is simply a belief. I'm not a lawyer. But what happens is when you play something and you review it live, that falls under fair use.
Sounds logical.
So the more anyone wants to jump in and, make some noise or interrupt just for a second while we make our comments, have some quick discussion, that is covered by fair use. So, hey, have at it. That's what makes the show special. I love listening to old time radio, but I love it even more when I do it with my friends. And that
All
is
right.
Captain John's Haunted Radio from Space.
So raise your hand if you have a thought. If it's something that rubs you the wrong way, just please use more than one finger when you raise your hand.
Mr. Townsell, I could not have said it better myself. And just to get things, okay, Mr. Boyce.
I don't know what's going on, but let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. All right, so I have to label these things better in the future.
Mom
because
said I'm not allowed to get haunted, by the way.
Mom's not
Lobo,
worried about you.
Think Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of.
Oh, cool.
Kind of,
Yeah.
sort of, yeah. And honestly, it's just a lot more fun than you would think it is. So hit my stand again. Let's get started. I believe this is the first one. It's going to unwind on its own. It's going to sort of explain itself to you as we go. So let's just jump right in.
Again, the World Adventurers Club welcomes you. Its members, men of courage and daring, have heard many strange tales at these meetings. But at this particular time, they sense a new element in the air. Mysterious, uncanny. Let us join the group around Benjamin Sharp, who has but recently returned from Haiti.
And so, Mr. Sharp, you say that Haiti has left her mark on you.
Yes, Haiti is a...
Mr. Lubin.
What the hell was
boy.
that?
Two things. This Adventures Club reminds me of a sketch they did with South Park when they're equivalent to making this look like it was Scientology. And here we go with the Haitian voodoo again. For you guys who don't know, my old man is originally from there, and we used to love listening to this stuff. So here we go.
It was just a second of murmuring. I'm like, that already sounds racist. they didn't say anything. I was like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
I know exactly what you mean, because it's like, well, gather around, gentlemen, and you hear like, oh, I'm a white guy. I'm a white guy too. Oh, I'm a white guy. I'm a white guy. It's like, welcome to the Colonizers Club. All right. So, yes. Oh, Craig, I had no idea. Oh, my
That's
God. Get ready to be othered like no other.
Damn.
The dark mother of mysteries from Port-au-Prince to Cape Haitian. Most white men don't reach the first outpost of her Holy of Holies, for they are prone to laugh at her belief.
I can understand that. You know, the island must be fertile ground for adventure, Ben.
Yes, Mr. Lubin.
Okay. There was a U.S. Marine base stationed in Port-au-Prince for fucking decades.
Yeah.
So there were plenty of white guys there, and they were going all across the island.
Well, were they on an
Listen.
adventure, Craig? An adventure?
Now, were they white men or were they white men? Because I would watch out for the white men, but yes. And that's another thing. Like I've listened to a few World Adventurer Club shows, and it's always like, no white man has ever been there before. Well, white men are not welcome there. It's like, not all of us listening are white, but hey, you do you.
Or a remote section of Africa that is so out there and so remote that the nearest 7-Eleven is nearly 2 miles away.
Oh, 2 miles, my word.
Good
How
heavens,
is the
man.
body?
Where else will I get my horny goat weed? All right, we're gonna go back in. Here we go.
Some parts of it are fertile, Mr. Jones. Haiti is a land of opposites, a geographical Jekyll and Hyde.
I don't understand that.
In parts, she is a tumbling, towering mad land of paradise and inferno. In one mood, she shows you the unearthly beauty of coral strands cooled by emerald combers. On the other hand, there are her terrible jungles of tangled growth and stark deserts where cacti squirms from the parched earth like tortured snakes.
Good heavens, what a description.
Ah, but it is Haiti.
Good heavens.
Once you've seen her, spent some time in her mysteries, you can never forget her. Never forget her.
Oh, that sounds like there might be a story lurking in those memories. Well, I should say so.
Come on,
Nope,
Alfred.
the end.
I have a grim one for you, gentlemen. I warn you.
Oh, fine. The grimmer the better.
Very well, then. We shall go to the heart of Haiti, Mount Noir, or the Black Mountain. The scenery is startling, to say the least. Ebony canyons drop a sheer 2,000 or 3,000 feet.
That sounds like a good location for murder.
Wait, why is the president as bad as murder?
Brought
What the
my
hell?
superior, John Lansing, and myself to the Mount Noir country. There were whispers that a half-breed landowner, Monsieur Gounod, was mistreating the natives who worked for him. This gossip spread so quickly that the government...
Mr. Lubin.
Half-breed landowner, huh?
Well, you know he's evil.
Well,
Actually,
I'll tell you,
the term back then would have been mulatto, I think is the name. I can't remember what the Creole word was for it, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
it was a thing.
all I can say is I've been watching a lot of YouTube reaction videos lately, and a lot of them are young people watching Blazing Saddles, and this is what I'm reminded of suddenly. All those guys gathered on the campground eating beans and farting.
I'm already floored. The whole like, welcome to Haiti. My word, I can kill someone there. Like, what? Why? The first thing on your mind is where you can kill somebody. Okay.
Well, I mean, one of the things that was extremely popular in the first, as far as I know, the first like 40, 50 years of the 20th century, a lot of these shows are going to be about murder. It's so funny that true crime podcasts are so popular now. It's just an echo of 100 years ago where it's like, I want to hear about a murder. Do tell. Okay, so we know there's a half-breed landowner or guy who's running a plantation, and he's mistreating the workers. So here we go. Back into our story.
Sent us to investigate this man.
Oh, right. The government has sent them in to investigate because these white explorers are part of the legal system. I don't know. Here we go.
We had but the briefest information to work on, and determined to present ourselves as writers seeking information on native life. It was late in the afternoon when we finally arrived at his place, and we learned from his servant that Gounod was down in the cane field with his men, but that he would soon return as he always brought them in before dark. Accordingly, we made ourselves comfortable on the veranda.
Tweeting birds.
From all that I hear, this Gounod is a pretty tough customer, Ben. We must be careful just how we approach him. Remember, we must have actual proof before we can arrest him.
In other words,
Mr. Boyce.
I hate to be that guy, but those are definitely North American birds. What kind of Toronto park did they record this episode in? Okay.
I'm kind of waiting for Elon Musk to pop up with all the tweeters. I don't know.
Bam! Oh, hell yeah, he did. All right, here we go.
I'd be ready for anything.
By the way, where is that servant? Oh, don't worry about him. I think he's back in the kitchen. Besides, I doubt if he understands English, working for Gounod as he does.
Gounod. That name has haunted me ever since we left Port-au-Prince. It's very familiar to me.
He's well known there. A bad reputation.
No, I don't mean in connection with this job. There's something else. Mount Noir brings a faint echo of it to my memory. Grim, forbidding.
Nonsense. Now you're letting your imagination run away with you. Can't do that in Haiti. The truth is strange enough.
What do you mean, Mr. Lansing?
Oh, I've heard all sorts of tales during my years on the island. Voodoo, white magic, black magic, and necromancy.
Necromancy?
Yes, a peculiar cult. Orthodox members of the Legba and of Petro Voodoo won't have anything to do with it.
Why not? It all sounds the same to me.
No, necromancy is black magic. In other words, it's the use of a corpse for magical purposes.
What?
Gruesome, isn't it? But the natives claim that a sorcerer can rob the grave of a newly buried body and give the corpse a mechanical semblance of life, so that it will become his slave, either commit some crime for him or else work in his cane fields. They call these soulless bodies zombies.
Yes, Mr. Lubin.
That's how voter fraud starts.
Nobody tell them in Louisiana.
They bust them in.
I swear, guys, if I didn't know better, I'd swear that John was doing this on purpose for my benefit, because last week we got to talk about my Android novel, and this week I can put in a plug for Fury Duty, which has the story on Fear of Open Spaces, which is about, yes, zombies, although not this type, I don't think.
Wow. I had no idea, Joe. Damn, you're a versatile writer.
Thanks, John.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible at compliments.
I mean, it was a good attempt. I saw you were going for there. You know? It's like another language. I don't know what he means, but I can make it out. Dharmaka Tanagra? Is that a compliment?
Oh, my God. Okay, back to our story. I rolled back just a little bit.
To commit some crime for him or else work in his cane fields. They call these soulless bodies zombies.
Zombies. Cane fields. Guno.
For heaven's sake, what's wrong?
That's the story I heard about this man, Lansing. They say he's a sorcerer and is using zombies as servants.
Oh, come now, boy.
One old woman said that she recognized her recently buried son working for Guno, walking about doing his bidding.
Take it easy, Ben. Haiti has gotten under your skin. It's new. Now listen to me. As long as I've been here, I've never seen anything that even approached a zombie. Do you understand? Not one.
But that doesn't prove anything. Your duties have confined you to Port-au-Prince. But can't you see that back in here, there may be mysteries that we know nothing about? And besides that, if there are no living dead, why did that old woman recognize her son?
Here come Guno and his men now. See? Heads down and feet dragging. Poor devils. The rumors of mistreatment must be correct.
They're moving like automatons. Look, one is raising his head. Good God, Lansing. Look at his eyes. Staring, unseeing, and the others. All of them like dead men walking.
For God's sake, keep your head, boy. Guno has seen us.
Arrested. Who are you?
Monsieur Guno?
First off, who wants to guess the race of the guy playing Mr. Guno?
I assume only white people got work back then, so that'd be my choice.
Pretty much the truth. Okay, who is the one who raised his hand again? It
was me, only because I'm going to pose this question, which I'm sure you're all going to laugh at, but playing a little devil's advocate here, that we're hearing this from 1932.
Yes.
Do you think there's any possibility of a little bit of social commentary going on here, as far as exploitation and taking advantage of workers and so forth, or is it just cheap thrills?
That's a very good question, because there is that one guy who's like, hey, don't judge all of Haiti by this. And then there's another guy who says, oh, there are some forms of voodoo that are not like evil, but this is a different form of voodoo that is. So that's interesting. That sounds a little more open-minded than I would expect. I'm also listening to this for the first time with you guys. So,
oh, really?
Okay, I'm discovering a lot of this as we go. I have to say, just to throw it out there, these videos, I have no idea how the pictures match the words. I just put them together.
Okay, great.
There's no art to this at all. It's all by accident. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, Joe. I feel like there is a little bit of slavery is bad, mistreating workers is bad. I'm hearing a little bit of that here, and
well, I mean, if there is something like that happening, I mean, it would be pretty heavy-handed for the time, which is what brought it to mind for me. But then again, like I say, it could just be a bunch of I didn't want to go.
Well, one thing I could tell you about old time radio is that in about 1929 or 1930, that's when actual like narratives and stories and acted out radio plays started to happen. Before that, it was mostly readings and music, and maybe a comedian would come in and do 5 minutes and use up all his material.
Right.
As we well know how that works, Mr. Boyce.
That when you do jealous.
Oh, damn.
I was saying I didn't, but I see I hit. Okay, I'll stop. I was saying that I didn't have material. Oh, man.
No, you wouldn't be wrong about me. I mean, come on, we have been on the same shows together.
Next time you're on the show, insult. I'm not that kind of guy, John.
Okay, here we are, back into the story. Dead Men Walk.
Lansing is my name. This is Mr. Sharp. We are writers and understood that you could give us a good deal of valuable information about Haiti.
The fine egg was a fine blanc.
What is that?
The affairs of the Negro are not for the white. Furthermore, you are lying, Monsieur Lansing.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly what I say. You and this boy have come down from Port-au-Prince to investigate my treatment of the natives. The natives.
Well, now at least we won't have to...
The natives. I don't know what accent that's supposed to be. Natives. He means natives.
Oh, I
Feel
thought
our
it was
hand,
Nazi.
Mr.
Got it.
And that wasn't meant to be a
That's-
hand raise, if that's what you thought, John. I was just diabolically rubbing my hands together, you know.
I totally
I
got
thought
it.
he was saying. I thought he was saying Nazis too.
It's in old time radio, they would hire somebody and they would say like, "Hey, can you do a Haitian accent?" And someone who can't do a Haitian accent would go, "Yeah."
Gotta get booked, brother.
And then in rehearsal, they would find out, well, he kind of does Hungarian, but it's close enough.
Right. Hans-
You
Well,
know,
like
very
everything sounds like
true.
I'm a Leprechaun. So.
And that is why I allowed you to reach me. I am king of Montreal. I could have stopped you before, you know. My spies are everywhere. But I need 2 more workers.
What do you mean?
I mean that I am going to make zombies of you.
Zombies?
You see, Lansing, I told you. Those poor dumb brutes over there. He's going to make us like them.
Bravo, bravo. You evidently know what zombies are.
You are a madman, Gounod. Now listen to me.
Enough. Louis,
We compare.
you have the Blancs guns quite safe.
We compare. Our guns, they're gone. My holster's empty.
Mais oui. My Louis is very smart, very light finger.
Why, you...
Wait a minute. My
You know, sounds like Dracula to me.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, definitely Dracula.
Definitely getting a Bela Lugosi vibe from
That's
that.
the word I was
Louis
trying to go.
is very smart and light-fingered. That means he is light-fingered Louis. Oh, this is awful. God,
I'm
this is
also reminded visually of this might be a pretty obscure reference, but Blues Brothers 2000 when they turned the band into zombies. I think
That's right.
those are the zombies we're talking about
Wow.
here. I think.
Wow. On a mission from
So it
God.
looks like Joe and I are the only 2 people. We're the 2 people who saw that movie.
I saw it on like Pix 11, but it was formatted to fit my screen. Here's a question: people knew that Haitian spoke French, right, or like a Creole, right? This is like
Yes.
European.
This guy is trying to do a French accent, and just from being in like community theater plays and doing French accents, I'm 20 times better than this guy.
Okay, yeah.
And Flobo's right in the money. They don't. Yes, it was colonized French colonization, but they speak Creole, and it's very different. The dialects change from region to region of the country.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
British colony over here. I know how it goes.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm no good at dialects personally, and everything I do sounds like a leprechaun. So I'll warn you now in case I want to break out into one.
If you did a
maybe-
cartoon with Joe Townsend speaking a leprechaun, I will buy it twice. I think that's worth the price of admission.
You're gonna have to be around for our St. Patrick's Day show because Joe's he's gonna
Oh
go
God!
full
Now, what have I
leprechaun
done to
for us.
myself?
All right, let's see if we can finish up Dead Men Walk.
Be careful what you do now. You are very foolish, monsieur, to try and escape from Louis and me. Besides, there are my zombies to stop you.
Oh, he's insane, Lansing. Mad.
Not as mad as you are foolish, but no matter. Your brains are of no use to me, nor your souls. I will remedy that. And when your bodies are empty of soul, life, then you will work for me. I will teach you to work for me.
If you are planning to murder us, Gounod, slaughter us for some insane idea, the police will have you in a fortnight. They have allowed us so much time to return in. If we don't show up, they'll come after us and find you no matter where you hide.
Me? Hide? You give my intelligence scant credit, my friend. If the police come, my zombies will be far away, working, and you amongst them. Oh, let me see. Perhaps I shall stain your skins with walnut juice, so that you will not attract attention.
You
That's the word
fiend!
kind.
Ben, try to free yourself. Anything is better than to hear this madman.
Louis!
Yes, Mr. Lubin.
Walnut juice. These are California growers.
I mean,
It's really expensive, therefore really deadly.
what's next? Almond milk? I mean,
Yeah, walnut milk too. So I was thinking the same thing.
Oh my God! No, don't stain us with walnut juice.
This coffee on the throat. No, I'll try. I don't want those others to hear.
Mon Dieu! But these blanks die hard.
I tell you, fool, before the others hear too much.
Ah! Compare!
Did he say these blunks fight too hard?
I think so.
He's screaming Mont Blanc, which is basically white guy over and over again.
Oh wow, this is definitely the pre-Google Translate French. Then it's just
This is
awful.
oh my God!
The dead men are walking behind you. The zombies! The zombies!
No!
Ah!
No! Bullshit! Vite alors! Laissez-moi! Keep away from me! Keep away from me! Why you attack me?
Lansing, the zombies are killing Guno. They're living men, Ben. Living men. Great Scott, it's horrible.
And were the zombies living men, Mr. Sharp?
I think so. Nothing could stop them when they came to our aid. My brain reeled as I saw them shuffling toward us, expressionless, staring. They had terrific strength, for they killed Guno and his servant like a terrier kills a rat and then tosses it aside. Then they turned toward Mount Noir and left us without another look.
Well, why do you think they turned on Guno and saved you?
Yeah, seriously, why? This makes no sense.
Well, that is an important link in the mystery of the origin, gentlemen. Remember, Guno ordered his servant to kill us quickly. He may have surmised that our cries and struggles would strike some responsive chord in the hearts of the workers.
You mean?
Yes. Since our cries did move them, it is almost conclusive proof that they were not zombies, but idiots. I remember the face of a dog I had seen in the histological department of the museum. Its entire front brain had been removed in an experimental operation, but the animal still lived. And its eyes were like those of Guno's workers.
Then the madman, Guno, took advantage of these poor people and made them his slaves.
Exactly. But in spite of all explanations, I can never forget that the islanders swear that they sometimes recognize their dead working in the cane fields. Why else does one see graves by busy thoroughfares or under solid tombs of masonry? The Haitian believes in necromancy. He tries to protect his dead.
But of course, that's all nonsense. Ignorance on the part of the natives.
Perhaps. But we all know that we are surrounded by mysteries and imagine that by giving them names, we explain them.
Yes, Mr. Lubin.
I'll have you guys know that Necromancer is a valid character class in Diablo 3.
Oh wow. Okay.
As a matter of fact,
Throwbacks.
I played Necromancers because you can raise the dead as one of your weapons, right?
Yes. Skeletons, ghosts, all that fun stuff. Zombies.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, Necromancer is a respected job. I agree with Mr. Lubin on that.
Just one small correction, Craig. Not zombies, zombies.
For everyone watching this, wondering how to do the best possible French accent, Mr. Townsend is correct. Especially at the end of a sentence, but usually at the end of a phrase or at the end of a word that you emphasize heavily, you hit the final syllable.
I'm looking for Sacre Bleu. That's what I want.
Sacre bleu.
It's like Monty Python basically doing French brigades.
Oh yeah.
You English big dog. I fought in your general direction. Yeah, you always want to raise it at the end. Okay, so let's see if they can get us out of this hole they're digging into. By the way, they weren't zombies. They were mentally challenged people that were being taken, being exploited. Okay, I mean, the dude was evil. That sounds like something an evil guy would do.
Well, I'll have something to say about that when we do our final discussion on this segment.
Okay.
But aren't we fooling ourselves?
Are we?
Mr. Sharp has certainly left a question in the minds of his listeners. He was right in saying that Haiti is the dark mother of mysteries. Join these soldiers of fortune at their next meeting and listen to another strange adventure in strange land.
I think it might just be music from this point on. So, gentlemen, how you feeling about the World Adventurers Club?
I'll go first. It reminds me of something we listened to, I think in the first week, where essentially there always had to be a rational explanation.
Yeah.
You could have ended this 5 minutes prior or more and just had that spine tingling, uneasiness. Oh my God, the zombies. But now we have to, oh, no. That's not it at all. And I think that's a trend that continued well into the 50s and 60s on TV.
Yeah.
I think Rod Serling kind of had to overcome that with one of his first efforts, having somebody explain away the mysterious aspect of the show. So,
yeah.
Wow. But I also wonder if that's just because audiences at the time, I don't want to claim any kind of sophistication over our forebears, but this was probably pretty tense stuff, pretty spine tingling. So they kind of had to let you down easy at the end, maybe.
I mean, that is the context of old time radio. You have to remember that radio was the first time that entertainment was ever broadcast. So it's actually going into your home. And what most people knew radio to be was like news and information and education and culture. Because when radio started, that's what they did. They would have somebody come in, she would play a harp. They would have somebody come in, he would read some Shakespeare. Somebody comes in and, gives a lecture on gardening. It was very sort of boring. So when they kind of got to these stories, they reflected a lot of what the magazines were that people would buy at the time. So there'd be like Argosy and, like Adventurers, Weekly. And, but Mr. Lubin, I wonder, now that you've heard the whole thing, is it a smear on Haiti, do you think? The land of your father.
It wasn't good. What the hell question is that?
or
I'm sorry. I wasn't my question.
Was it less racist or more racist than you expected?
Unfortunately, it was par for the course. This is the type of crap you'd hear when I was growing up. Oh, you're from Haiti. Your father's from Haiti. Where's your voodoo doll? Blah, blah, blah. And I was in that, well, I'll show you a voodoo doll. That's a whole other conversation.
And then people would stick pins in it.
Yeah.
It's typical of the time. They're just kind of, well, we can explain what these savages are doing through rational conversation or discourse, that sort of thing. So that hasn't changed.
That's a good point.
It was a little refreshing to see it more out in the open. They're not kind of hiding it. So, to say what Flobo said, it wasn't good, but it was different. It was different.
It's a little different growing up because up until recently, because now if you go back to Brooklyn, the area I grew up in is completely almost Haitian. But when I was a kid, it was Pan-Caribbean, and the Haitian kids were separate because the first language was French. So it was like all the West Indian kids were together because the British colonies, Spanish colonies, but the French kids were in ESL. It was always like that, like, hey, with voodoo doll or like, booty scratching or whatever. And so I can't say I expected like this to be different in 1932, but this is somebody who looked at a map and was like, black people? Sure. Zombies, French? All right, okay, yeah, fine.
one of the weirdest things to me, having grown up in a a times, so I was a little kid during the 70s, and a lot of that was like, hey, look, hey, white kids, you're just like everybody else. You're members of the world. There's many other people in the world. It's not just white people. And we'd be watching Sesame Street, and I'm watching Rita Moreno and Morgan Freeman on Electric Company, and I thanks to TV, I was exposed to more cultures and more of a, oh, here's our piece of the pie, there's his piece of the pie, there's her piece of the pie. Like, you get more of a general feeling. In 1932, 40 years earlier, it is, the wicked and forbidden land of the dark-skinned people. There's this, and I do like to point out othering
and back then that was the Bronx.
Yeah.
Not just
Well, I think you definitely have a greater need for exaggeration and theatrics with radio, because liking the visuals. I mean, I think that's today. That's why I hate radio commercials even more than TV commercials, because they're so exaggerated and so over the top. You just want to change the channel.
And having used to back in the day, see, radio has changed a lot, and nowadays radio is done for pennies on the dollar from what they were doing 20 years ago, when I was making my living and buying my house with what I would make doing radio commercials.
Work it, John.
It used to be a big business, and now I hear like, hey honey, I know a great place to get our new garage door. A new garage door? I want one of those right now. Like, holy cow.
Yeah.
People wouldn't even be auditioning for that commercial back in the day.
Oh, absolutely. I listen to MLB radio, and they get that saying, like, I don't know if you heard the Navage commercial, and it's like, starts off like, how do you clean your nose? I've never asked that question in my life. How do you clean your nose?
You brush your teeth. How do you clean your nose?
Shut up.
We play that on Sirius XM.
But just so you know, Flobo, I do have one of those little battery operated little, trimmers. So just so you know.
Oh yeah, you gotta have the hygiene there, but that's kind of a private question. I'm not hopping in the cars like, he's right. 2 Navajas, please.
I might be getting one of those in my stocking this Christmas. Those commercials really are working on me, I have to admit. And with this nose, come on, that's a lot of cleaning. Mr. Boyce, you are exactly in the swim of things. You know exactly how we do the show now. There are no secrets here. No more questions, right? You're feeling good, because man, you're killing it. You're doing great.
Yeah, I have one question. It's for Mr. Craig Lubin. Are you so offended? Are you going to stay the rest of the show? Are you going to leave early? That's
oh, please.
No, I'm good. It's a good time.
Craig Lubin does not rage quit.
Man.
He's got friends who do that, but he doesn't.
Right.
Oh, you
And
guys
if I may
know
be
me.
so bold, I think that one detail that Flobo might find useful now is that, so far at least, we tend to have a kind of silly or debatable or criticizable, if that's a word, first segment, but we tend to get a more kind of a better quality second segment as far as production and story and so forth. Is that accurate, John? Is that fair to say?
That is so inaccurate. That is so not true.
Oh, well,
next show.
Scratch that.
But thank you for being so complimentary to the previous shows. Okay, so yeah, going into this next show, I gotta tell you, I don't know if this is a good show or not.
Okay.
Honestly, I have heard this one before. I heard it many, many years ago, and I was terribly impressed. And Joe, you and I were talking about this before we went on the air. There's a whole culture within collecting old time radio shows, and I'm part of that. And most people are very reverential towards them, and some of them are very deserving. But I wonder about this one. So this is a show called Lights Out, Everybody, or Lights Out, or Arch Obler's Lights Out. There was this guy, Arch Obler, and another guy, Willis Cooper, and they did this scary show very early in the 30s called Lights Out. Willis Cooper left and went to go do other shows. Arch Obler then put his name on it. So it was called Lights Out. Willis Cooper leaves. Now it's called Arch Obler's Lights Out. This guy is one of the biggest self-promoters. Now, I don't know if that's a bad thing. I will say people swear this is one of the best shows, especially one of the best science fiction shows, one of the best horror shows, and one of the best science fiction horror shows. So you may hear that. That may work for you. It may be a really great show. Or you may be like me and go, is this good? I don't know. I kind of wish I was listening to it with friends.
Yeah.
And this is not the only time we'll ever listen to Lights Out, because not only do people swear it's a great series, they swear some of the episodes are the best episodes that were ever on radio. And I do want to play those for you. So, especially as we build up to Halloween and you know, go further with this show, you will hear more Arch Obler. So, let's get into it. This one again, after we pause it for the first time, if there's any information to impart, I will impart it. But here we go, gentlemen.
Right.
This is Lights Out.
Presents Lights Out. Everybody.
1937.
It is later than you think. Lights Out brings you stories of the supernatural and the supernormal, dramatizing the fantasies and the mysteries of the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginative plays, we urge you, calmly but sincerely, to turn off your radio now.
My name, Arch Obler. Tonight, a story I enjoyed writing for you because, well, frightening as the thought may be, it could happen.
And furthermore, I might speak frankly, my dear Diane, the basic thing wrong with woman is her nose. Let's cut it off.
Russell Adams.
Then there's the matter of her ears. Look at them.
Well?
They're too obvious. Cut them off, too.
No nose, no ears. Oh, a fine art critic you turned out to be.
Oh, is this thing odd?
Russ Adams, I hate you. I think it's the best piece of sculpture I've ever done.
Egomaniac.
Oh, will you go away?
Not until I tell my wife how much I adore her. How about stopping the artistic endeavors for the night and romancing with the old man?
Any man.
Romancing?
Out of the veranda, Miss Moon.
Spoken as Professor Russell J. Adams, instructor of astronomy at our beloved university.
I don't know a single scientific fact about this moon.
Exposition.
Then it's a date.
After you, Fred, Diane? Why do you laugh?
Just thinking, it's a good thing we haven't any neighbors, or they'd think we were honeymooning.
10 years and 2 more weeks.
Sweet.
Why?
For remembering.
Well, a sign.
Oh, it's such a lovely night.
Yes. You're very lovely with the moonlight in your hair.
Darling.
335 days out of the year, moonlight.
Yes, Mr. Lubin.
He really wants to bang his wife, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, Netflix and chill?
Craig, don't be crude. He wants to romance her.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Who was it? Was it Common? Somebody said, date your wife.
That is hard
Good
work.
advice. Good advice. Okay, here we go.
Me is it's just a reflected light of the sun. A light interesting only that it may be analyzed spectroscopically. But these 30 days of our vacation, Diane, oh, what a magical change. It's a soft lover's moon hanging in the heavens only to brighten your happiness.
Oh, and people wonder why I can't get excited about Ronald Coleman.
Coleman? Who's he?
Spoken like a true professor. He's a motion picture star. An absolute paragon of romance.
Oh, well, perhaps I shouldn't neglect my movie-going. Oh, so much I mean. With such paragons to teach one.
You do all right. Oh, Russell,
What's the matter?
I saw the brightest shooting star.
Is that all? The way you gasped, I thought you saw the angel of death himself galloping over those meadows.
There's another one. Look, Russell.
My dear, for 11 months out of the year, the heavens have my full and undivided attention. Oh, but during this blessed month, let the heavens fall. I can't be bothered.
I never saw such bright shooting stars.
Yes, and another thing, my dear. As the wife of an accredited professor of astronomy, I think it no more than fitting that you give the phenomena that you observed its proper name, namely the fall of a meteor.
There's another one. And another. Oh, that's how bright and beautiful.
They travel at such a tremendous rate, the friction of our atmosphere burns them into a fiery vapor.
There's more.
Mr. Boyce.
Is he just mansplaining this thing to his wife? Is that what's going on? That's not romance at all. That's the opposite.
I just love Art Obler. Like, I think if my character is going to be an astronomer, I think he's going to be mostly doing a lecture about astronomy. Oh, he's like trying to romance his wife. Yeah, he would probably be doing a lot of explaining about astronomy. Yeah, that makes sense.
Too.
Quentin Tarantino is known for his excellent dialogue. I don't think he was inspired by things like this.
So, okay. So here we go back into blah blah blah, mansplain. There we go.
Look, one after the other. I've never seen so many shooting stars. I mean, so many meteors in all my life. Oh, so that's why you wanted me out here. You knew about this meteor shower, didn't you?
It's one of heaven's free spectacles in this constellation. Every 3 years, this happens to be the third year.
This is like the astronomy version of like, oops, the car's out of gas. I guess we're up here on Lookout Point for quite some time.
And she's talking about other men. What the hell? Look, wife, I'm trying to romance you.
Oh, I love that she brings up Ronald Coleman. Gentlemen, on this show, I don't know if it's next week or the week after, but I'm going to play a show for you that is H.P. Lovecraft, and it stars Ronald Coleman.
Oh,
you mean that famous motion picture star?
Yes.
Well, how does he clean his nose?
All right, back to the inaction. Mr. Lubin, did you have something?
No, it's just saying, not the Ronald Coleman.
How frightening.
Quite frightening.
Those great masses of stone and iron coming from who knows where in interstellar space, traveling millions and millions of miles and then going up in such glorious flame just as they reach the end of their journey.
Not all goes to flame. Hundreds of them strike the earth each year.
Well, Russell, there's no danger.
Oh, no. The probabilities of being struck on the head by that cosmic rubbish is about 1,000 times more remote than winning a sweepstake without buying a ticket.
Well, look, that one, the brightest of all.
Wait, Diane. What's that?
By the way,
yeah,
I don't know. Something from the sky. It's shooting.
Yes, Mr. Boyce.
I just want to say my rock band name, Cosmic Rubbish. That is just exquisite. We are Cosmic Rubbish.
Yeah!
Look out, Diane! All right, dear. Everything's all right.
What? How?
A meteor. You must have landed out in the field there. Here, let me help you. You all right, please?
Yes, I'm all right. Russ, where are you going?
Out there. Where it must have buried itself. Wait here. I'll be right back.
No, I'm going with you.
All right, if you want
I'll
to.
be right back.
Oh, Diane, what an experience we've had. The one chance in a million I spoke about almost occurred to us.
But Russ, was it really a shooting star? That explosion like a bombshell?
A bombshell of the universe.
What will we find out there?
A fragment of the meteorite, I
But
hope.
it'll burn.
No. All of its heat will have been dissipated. Then again,
Or a strange visitor from another planet.
I pray to heaven that it hasn't.
I'm afraid.
No, the danger's all over. Here. The moon's so bright. If only the mast landed, I should be able to find the torn ground where it smashed through the turf.
Oh, please, darling, let's wait until morning.
No, I must find the thing at once. The moon gives plenty of light. From the brightness of the flash, I'm positive that the meteor landed someplace right in here. I'll tell you. Look.
What?
The turf, all torn up. This is the place.
Russell, are you mad? Get up off the ground.
He's right.
I struck a glancing blow off the brow of the ridge. I've got it.
What?
The fragment still warm.
Ooh, yes, Mr. Townsend.
I think we may have uncovered a very egregious case of plagiarism. This was in 1937.
Yes.
In 38, we had Superman, Action Comics.
Yes, that's what I was getting at before. Yeah, that's the next
Oh, did
year.
you mention that? So here it is. The origin of Kal-El.
I didn't know Jonathan was I didn't know Jonathan Kent was an astronomer.
Yeah, these people couldn't be more the opposite of the Kents.
Wait, hold on.
Or that eloquent or romantic.
Yeah, John Kent was out there romancing his wife. That's what it was. He was trying to get some laid in Kansas. I thought they were going down to town to get some hay or something. Okay.
Oh, Martha.
Get some Martha.
Get some
Gonna have
feed.
some Martha. Okay, here we go.
See? No larger than a baseball. All that was left.
That's a meteor.
A meteor, right. All that's left of the meteor that burned and exploded. What a find.
Drop it, Russ.
What are you talking
Throw
about?
it away.
Hey, come back to the house.
Meteor shit.
What are you going to do with it?
Diane, what's the matter with you? Your face.
I don't know. Somehow I'm afraid for all of us.
Afraid? Good heavens, my dear. There's nothing dangerous about this. A mass metal that's 90% iron. Why, it's as harmless as any inert piece of metal. Come to the study. I'll show you where the rush of air against the incandescent...
Russ, wait.
Huh?
Someone's crying.
Yes.
I'll go and see. It's Helga. Oh, Helga, you poor thing. We forgot all about you.
Oh, Mrs. Adams, it was exploding.
Now, everything's all right.
Racist against Swedes.
I had no idea what's going on. I was going to say, what kind of random town where there's like no outside, no inside, that is on the soundstage in the middle of nowhere? But then you get the crying Swiss lady. Okay, I'm in. I'm back in.
Poor Helga.
Right, Helga?
What's going on, Diane?
Oh, poor Helga. The explosion frightened her out of her wit.
Oh, Mr. Professor Adams, we die. We all die.
Don't be a
the
fool.
fire come from the sky. It kill us. It kill you and me and everybody. We die. Everybody
Stop
die.
it. For heaven's sake, stop that.
Die.
Take care of her, Diane. Give her a sedative or something.
All right, Russell. All right now, Helga. Everything's
She's hysterical.
I'm going to get at this meteorite, so please quiet the dumb fool down as quickly as you can.
John, I'm starting to see your point that the second segment isn't always the better one.
Tell that Swiss miss to take her mini marshmallows in the next room.
Wait, he's crying because he's concerned about you, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing? You dumb fool.
She's superstitious, as all those non-professors are.
Wow.
Oh.
Superstitious idiot. Simple phenomenon, and she thinks the world's ending.
Poor Helga.
Several little meteorite. Bit of nickel content. Nothing particularly unusual. Oh, Diane, quiet her down, will you?
Yes. She'll be all right.
You look a little rocky yourself. Here, sit here.
She's very frightened.
Yeah, and even you, Diane.
Well,
You back
You're
up
also
so strangely. As if this inert piece of cosmic metal could cause some supernatural ability.
what are you going to do with it?
Nothing. Examine it. Here. I'll take some of this nitric acid. Where's that bottle?
There's that
Yeah.
bottle.
Now watch closely, and I'll show
The
you
worst
that
date ever.
the stone consists of ordinary elements. Iron.
Russell.
What?
This mark on it. How strange.
Yeah. Funny I hadn't noticed it before.
Circles the entire stone.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised that a blow right here would break it in half. Yes, I think I'll try to do that.
No, Russ. Leave it alone.
Good heavens, Diane. Nothing but a stone. All I'm going to do is try and break it along this fissure.
Let me hammer the meteorite. What's wrong with you, woman?
Won't the stone break? Almost solid metal. I'll try.
I don't know if they'll pay for it up to the college.
George, it did. Clean in half. What?
Look. What's inside?
Flash.
Oh, Russ, how...
Negative ray protoplasmic. No, it can't be. It can't. This is a meteor. It came from out there. There is no flesh. Nothing could live.
Russ, look.
Huh?
It's growing.
Growing?
All right, there's the gong.
Ladies and gentlemen, a shooting star flashes out of the sky and falls to Earth. And in it, something living from out of interstellar space. Yes, this is the time to take a breath before going on with tonight's Lights Out play, the story of Professor Adams and his wife and the thing from out beyond our world. A meteorite had fallen, and Professor Adams had broken it open, and there was a gray nugget of flesh inside, which, even as the professor and his wife stood watching, began to grow.
I want to apologize. Somebody at some point cut out the commercial for ironized yeast. Ironized.
That's the best kind of yeast, though. Damn.
How appropriate for the growing flesh. Now, I guess I don't know if anyone recognizes my references. I can't help myself, but I am, of course, mimicking the Creeping Up on You segment from Creepshow. But I think we're looking at more plagiarism here. Where did Stephen King get this story idea? Well, I think we know now.
Starbase 80. No, that's right.
It's like Jordy Verrill. Well, Mr. Verrill. Yes.
Yeah. This is going to be extremely painful.
Extremely painful.
Not painful, but painful.
Mr. Lubin, you had a comment that I believe got stepped on. Did you get to say your piece?
This is where beef jerky comes from. Oh my God.
Space flesh.
Faster and faster. Gray flesh. Growing. Russ, I'm afraid.
No, Diane. No. Wait. Control yourself. This is something we've got to see. Both of us.
Control yourself.
So we can tell others clearly what we saw.
Sounds like we're having sex.
Russ, put your arm around me.
Larger and larger. Listen, the noise.
My God!
I hear it. When will it stop? When?
Look.
I can't.
Well, my heart is racing, but not from fright.
That horrible gray flesh.
But you must see it. Look. It's forming into something.
What?
A head. It's forming into a head.
Oh.
How can it be, Diane? Flesh in a meteor growing into a head.
Why doesn't a woman ever say this to me?
A head. Horrible head.
That's some mighty fine romancing right there.
Do you suppose back at the time in 1937, kids are listening to this and like their dads are sitting behind them like, oh yeah. Tell me about that flesh again. No, kids, keep looking at the radio. Leave me alone.
Diane, you heard.
Yes.
The head without body speaking.
Yes, speaking.
Yes.
Russell.
You hear and understand me.
Nicholas. Laughing.
I laugh at the fear and wonder in your simple little faces.
Who are you? What are you?
If I told you, would your little earth minds understand?
I'm the boner in the rock.
Tell us. Whatever you are. Tell us what you are.
What you on earth will soon have for masters.
No, wait, Diane. I must know. You thing... what can I call you? Tell me what you mean, you... masters.
Surely you simple little men do not think that in you creation has reached the ultimate.
Oh. Gray flesh talking.
Yes, Mr. Flobo.
Well, two things. One, that guy sounds more Haitian than the last guy. And two, why have a conversation with the dude? Why even talk to it?
Well, because we got another, let's take a look. We got another, 14 minutes here for ironized yeast.
I'm getting out.
You will stay.
Russ, I can't move.
Nor I.
You cannot move.
Who are you? Tell us, who are you?
You saw how I came.
A tiny bit of protoplasm in that meteorite?
So I willed myself to be, to reach your Earth.
You came here in that? Through space?
Through space beyond your furthest conception, Earth thing. Many of my people have tried. I am the first to succeed.
Then meteors are
the means we have used to try and reach this haven of plenty. I am the first. Now there will be others.
You're from another planet?
An old world. Old beyond your understanding. A world grown cold in its age. Empty with passing years. We must escape to a young, fertile world. This world.
But you're only heads. Heads without bodies.
Russ,
We need your women.
Please, I must hear him speak. This that is happening to us is a miracle of all times. Tell me,
will headbutt
you there,
you.
are you only heads in that world you speak of?
Heads. Heads. You see what I will you to see.
But what are you?
A mind and a will beyond your feeble understanding. As far above you as you are above the apes that still must crawl in your jungle.
But how can it be that you speak as I speak and understand what I say?
Your prattling wearies me, but I tell you...
No explanation. Next question.
You this, all that you say, I know.
Oh, come on.
The most profound...
Is he trying to get a Peabody Award? Stop asking questions. Come on.
Well, I mean, has he immobilized them? Is that why they can't just bash his little head in and
yes,
be done with
yes.
him?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
frozen.
Right.
So there's that. A head can do that, apparently, from space.
Right.
Things have ever thought is to me as the babbling of children. But now I am hungry. You understand that, little thing?
Hungry?
Hungry?
Hungry with a hunger that has driven me over space without ending. Hunger that has brought me here.
But what do you eat?
You will know.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean?
Helga, run!
What food could there be here to fill the hunger of such as I? Hunger that would make me entomb myself in metal, flung into space in a hope that chance would bring me through the fire of that air of yours. What food? A thing.
I don't know. Tell me.
Come closer.
Don't do it.
Do it, Russell. Do it.
No.
And why, oh no, Earth thing.
You don't... Human?
Human. You think you crawling worms are human to us.
But if you're man...
But we are not men. You are the cattle, and we are the keepers.
Oh.
You raise the cattle for life, and we for centuries have raised such as you on our world for life. But now, as I told you, our world has grown too old and too cold. the herds of you die and we grow hungry. That is why I am here. We need new cattle.
Oh my, Mr. Townsend.
I just have to ask the obvious question. I mean, if they're just heads, where's the poop go?
But I'm hungry. Hungry.
Is it like when you have a big steak and then you have as Larry Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Oh, Larry David,
who, remember, he did that commercial and he's trying coffee and he's like, I feel I've got a big project coming up, if you know what I'm saying. So we're the Costco chickens, apparently, of the universe.
No idea.
$4.95 and good for at least 3 meals, I'm thinking.
Oh man,
is it gonna like to watch him bang his wife? Because that was the original goal, wasn't it?
Well,
we got to need more cattle, you know.
You're a writer, Mr. Boyce. You know how it is. You set up normal, which is guys trying to bang his wife, and then you throw in the complication. Head from space is I'm going to use the phrase cock blocking. I'm not proud.
Right.
But apparently this meteor man is cock blocking, and many terrible things are happening here.
2 things before we continue, Captain. I mean, I'm not proud because I can't believe how easily at 58 years of age that my prepubescent, juvenile humor just comes right up to the surface again.
Welcome, Sabe City.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. And I'm going to make a prediction that because we haven't heard from her since she was called a stupid idiot, I think Helga's going to save the day somehow. That's my prediction.
Oh, that would be amazing. Okay. All right. So the money's on Helga to be our Deus Ex Machina. Craig Lubin, I can see you giving that the boo-boo face. I think you're not thinking that. What's your prediction for the end?
I think it's beef jerky for the humans.
Mr. Boyce, how do you think this is going to end?
Those are way, way better. Let's see. Hopefully my guy gets laid. That's the one I care about. Is that? Can I be the post credit sequence?
Okay. All right, back we go.
Here there are so many of you. Earth woman.
Russell, it's
Mars needs women.
We've got to get out of here.
Earth woman.
No. Stop it. Don't look at me.
You're turning me on.
Closer.
Don't listen to
Closer.
Come on, baby. Get on over here.
Stay where you are. Stay right there.
This is like Space Barry White.
You hear only me, Earth woman.
Only you.
No, Diane. No. Don't say that. Don't look at that monster, Diane.
Closer, Diane.
Yes.
No.
Closer.
No, Diane. Stand still. Don't
What's
move
going to do with her with just a head?
Closer.
No.
Diane.
Closer.
Something your man wouldn't do, Joe.
Diane, I beg of you. Go closer to it.
Closer.
Closer.
Soon you will move to me as she is closer.
Diane, if I could move.
Closer.
Meteor Man swings.
I've got to find the way. The strength to stop him.
Little
Diane,
troika
you
action, it sounds like.
That bottle. Nitric acid.
Oh, yeah, the nitric acid.
Bottle. Got it. Yes.
Closer than they get.
Yes. Close to you, man.
Okay, clearly Meteor Man knows how to play the long game on foreplay. So you gotta tip the hat to him there. Closer. I'll just keep saying this for 10 minutes. Closer.
When's the next ad break? Closer.
Close.
And of course, as John and I mentioned briefly last week, I keep thinking of Robert Townsend when I hear Meteor Man's name. Don't ask me why.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was classic.
With Bill Cosby as the silent hobo.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, he was.
That's right.
Yes. Yes, close to you, monster. Take this.
God.
You ready to shoot him?
Pool of flesh. Flesh. That's all. Diane, wake up. Open your eyes. I've killed the thing. I killed it. Diane, it's all right. I've killed it. Diane, look. Outside, it's still dark. Yes.
Let's bone.
The sky still streaked with the rush from the horizon. And that thing said more of the monsters of his breed are trying to reach this earth.
Oh, no.
To feel that devil's hunger in them.
That's right.
Another meteorite is just there. And in it, perhaps... Oh, Diane. Diane. Is that truly to be in for mankind?
Mr. Obler, will the end of the world come that way?
Well,
yeah,
Frank, if
sure
you
will.
mean will the end for mankind come out of interstellar space in the form of a flying meteor? Well, there are some mighty interesting theories along that line. The amazing thing about it, Frank, is that there are so many logical and thoroughly possible ways in which the entire tribe of mankind could be wiped off the earth at any moment. I'm not talking about famine or what's close to all of us, war. I mean other ways. A star moves into our darkness from somewhere out there in the blackness of interstellar space, and the pull of its presence might turn our spinning globe headlong into the sun. In a split second, all of mankind, all his buildings, his wonderful possessions, his precious little pile, would go up in a flash of fire.
Damn, Arch, giving away
the
some of
sun
your
itself,
future
the
storylines.
very source of our life, as we all know, could shoot a long stream of explosive flame that would curl around us, and again, well, so quickly that no man would know what had happened. In split seconds, this earth would be a charred, uninhabited spheroid. Yes, when one stops to think what a tiny little grain of sand this haughty world of ours actually is in the dark sea of space, and when we realizes how precarious little mankind's hold is on this earth, the spectacle of man's inhumanity to man becomes a cosmic joke.
Well, all of those things are certainly interesting to think about, Mr. Obler, but tell us now what's going to happen next week.
Next week? Balls
next week.
No, that's not a dance. It's a story of chance. That unpredictable chance that makes one man a saint and the next man a Hitler. The flip of a coin, the turn of a card, the bend of a road. I think you'll like what we have to offer you, but as usual, next week.
Lights Out will come to you again next Tuesday at the same time. Be sure to listen to Arch Obler's weird story of Valse Triest.
Oh, geez, like a visual.
It's like a podcast. Have you tried Casper? No.
Well, it seems like Craig's prediction was closer to being accurate than mine was.
I have way too many questions, but I'll just choose one, and that would be okay. So, oh, I'm sorry.
What?
You.
What's going on?
There's a guy who always goes, "It's later than you think," and I talked over him.
This is the Columbia.
Here's my question. If they had not gone out and retrieved the meteor, would they have been in that kind of danger? If those meteors are just falling out in Antarctica, the wilds of Washington State, the mountains of China, and there's no people around, like, how do they get out of their little metal thing, and how do they grow? And
I mean, that's a big thing, because if they fall and there's no way to nurture them, then yeah, they're probably just a tree falls in the woods, no one around to hear it, doesn't matter. Doesn't make sound.
What makes them worse than ticks? I guess is my question.
That's pretty much it, right?
All I know is that Jordy Verrill, he got consumed by the weeds, and they went on going down the road to take over the world. So I can only assume that something similar would happen in this scenario. They've gone unchecked.
I agree. It had a very proto, Invasion of Body Snatchers vibe.
Yeah. And I do kind of love this, like, nature from outer space, because there wasn't a lot of technology in this at all. It was just, there are life forms that are higher than us, and they're coming, and they're going to get us. Like, yeah, that's pretty scary. Okay, 1937, that's pretty good. Let me ask you, did you guys like it? Was it a good show? Is it as good as people tell me it is?
It was extremely entertaining. I can't say it's quality sci-fi by any means, because look at the amount of how he laughed at it. But I gotta say, this is so far this is the most entertaining segment for me.
Mm-hmm. It's not a table setting though. It's hard. I know it's supposed to be a short, but there's a lot of things that had to have been said or exposited for it to work.
Yeah.
That I go, oh yeah, okay. I see.
I think they could have wrapped it up. A lot of exposition, more than they needed.
Yeah. The real car
Well,
chase. That's what I'm saying.
I think one problem is the guy sounds like he's winding down a lot.
I'm kind of amazed by Arch Obler because having heard, now granted, you guys have heard some very early radio shows, like on the very first episode, Craig, Joe, and I, Flobo, listened to one from the 1950s. That was called The Outer Limit, and a lot more music and sound effects and time passages and all those things. This is, I think, because it's the 30s and very much on a shoestring budget. Did you notice there's no music in this? Episode
That's what I was trying to allude to before. I felt like there was no ambience. There was like in a soundstage and a void. For a lot of it, so it's kind of hard to place what was going on, and I think that's why it was always overexposited.
Yeah, good point. It's just one of those things that Arch Obler does. He does not put any time or money or effort into music or atmosphere. He does a lot of it through dialogue, but that's again, he is considered one of the greats of old time radio. I'm not a huge fan, but. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. I'm going to play you guys. Okay, next week I'm going to do this. I'm going to play you our appetizer next week will be an Arch Obler story. It's a story you've heard before.
Oh,
in a very big way. You're going to get to hear the original done by Arch.
Oh.
So that'll be
intrigued.
Exciting for next week. And cool. that'll be our appetizer. I think next week might be a good time for us to go with the H.P. Lovecraft as well. So what's that called? It's called the Dunwich Horror.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be our main feature next week, starring Ronald Coleman. And that's a voice that you're going to go, oh, I've heard that voice before. Should I give it away?
Not yet. Not for me.
I won't. But when you hear the voice, you'll be like, wait a minute. I know that voice. So that'll be very exciting. Craig Lubin, so great to have you with us. Flobo Boys, by all means, go check out Flobo Boys, check out New Amsterdam, check out all of the Flobo Boys merch. Join his Patreon.
Times are rough. Patreon.com/Flobo Boys. Unlock bonus content today.
The boisterous crew.
I am a Patreon, and I absolutely love it. It's so great to see what Flobo does. He's one of the great creative guys out there, and you're just gonna love his stuff. And Joe Townsell over at joetownsell.com. You can visit Joe. And Joe, what was your zombie sort of related story?
In my collection called Fury Duty, the last story in it, which is a novella length, is called Fear of Open Spaces. And that is my introduction to my zombie universe. More to come, though. I'll say that for now.
I love to think that maybe we're inspiring you here at the Haunted Radio.
Absolutely.
Folks, that's going to do it for us. And be sure to join us. Now, we are 7 p.m. On the West Coast. We are 10 p.m. on the Best Coast, on the East Coast, with our good friend Craig. And gentlemen, I hope to see you both next week. But if not, that's quite all right. I'll take whoever will join me and Joe here on the Starbase. Goodbye. We should go.
Great to see you
Bye,
both.
fellas.
Thank you.
It's great seeing you guys.
Yeah, likewise.
Have a great week.